So listen, I have a hypothetical situation I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Now, 'cause this whole thing with William, it kind of reminds me of this, so I wanted to ask you. Now, suppose you have a friend and a close relative of his is arrested for a very serious crime.
Yeah.
So, a close relative of his is arrested for a serious crime, and that relative is using your friend as an alibi, like William's brother did, only in this case, it's not really true. Your friend was not with his relative at the time of the crime. But that doesn't mean the guy did it. It just means he doesn't have a good alibi and he's worried he's going to go to jail. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Now, ordinarily, your friend, he's a very upright kind of a guy. Again, kind of like William, but hypothetical. Somebody who would never ordinarily lie for this relative, but he doesn't know if his relative is guilty or if it's a frame-up or what. And then he meets the relative's lawyer, and it's one of those court-appointed lawyers, and the lawyer is just completely incompetent, just out of it, like he's drunk, and he doesn't remember the client's name, and he can't remember the details of the case. Like, you might as well not even have a lawyer. This guy is so bad. Are you following me?
I'm following you.
So now, my friend, hypothetically, he starts talking to the cops. And without realizing it, he starts backing up his brother's story because he just can't bring himself to throw his brother, his relative, whatever, to the wolves. And on the strength of his interview, or for whatever reason, the detectives decide that the relative is a stand-up citizen and the charges won't hold up in court, and they decide to release him. Okay, yeah, it's a lot of similarities to the William thing.
Yeah. What's your question?
My question is, how is anybody supposed to expect the brother, my friend, my imaginary friend or whatever, not to back up his relative's story, considering he's a human being and he's got feelings, and no matter what he thinks the right thing to do is, he's still got to answer to the parents and all the rest of it. And by the same token, what do you think? My question is, what if I know the story is bullshit because my friend told me so, and nobody even knows I know anything. This is all an idea for a novel I have, see, and the character, that would be me, see, I'm not sure what he should do. You know, it's not his brother, it's my brother, but now the relative is being released, and he's a murderer, and there's no way to tell.
Well, that's why they have such a thing as trial by jury.
Okay, but they don't, because the lawyer's no good.
Well, then you do something about that.
Okay.
But you can't just lie to the police.
Okay, that's good. No, that's good. And like what?
Well, you can ask for a different lawyer if the guy was really drunk.
Okay, but what if he wasn't literally drunk? Like, what if I use that as an extreme example?
If he wasn't drunk, or you can't prove he was drunk, or something really serious like that, they're probably not going to give you another one because they have no reason to give you another one. They don't offer you a selection. If you can't afford a lawyer, they appoint a lawyer.
Okay, but then why should my friend tell the truth? Or why should I?
But because you have to, that's all. Because there's no other way to do it. It's not your responsibility.
Well, it is my responsibility. Well, it's somebody's responsibility.
It's your responsibility to tell the truth.
Why? If the city doesn't care about its responsibility to provide a decent defense.
Well, because the city didn't deliberately give him a shitty lawyer. That's just an individual flaw in the system.
Well, it's not just a flaw in the system. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Unless you have a lot of money and you can afford your own.
You can't just make it up.
Yeah, but somebody made up the law, didn't they? Some people made up the law. And a bunch of people like you and me that literally sat down and wrote it up and made up a salary for the court attorneys that wasn't very high and made up rules about whether you were allowed to switch lawyers or if the guy was no good. God didn't make up the rules.
Like the rule, you can appeal the decision or
But by the time I do that, my friend's relative is going to be getting stabbed and raped in jail, and maybe he didn't do anything because he didn't get a fair trial.
I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. You can't just lie to the police. I don't know why. You can't.
What if we lived in Nazi Germany? I mean, could you lie to the police then?
We don't live in Nazi Germany.
Well, we don't live in Nazi Germany, but what if we did? Would you still say we have to obey the law?
It's not the same as Nazi Germany.
Well, it's not the same in theory. But if you look at the statistics of who gets arrested and who goes to jail and who gets the death penalty, what do you mean? Come on.